Hello, welcome back to Madrona's Pulse Teachings. I am Iris and I'm going to do the astrology forecast for the week-ish ahead. I usually put these out on the Monday, but this week it's coming out on the Tuesday because I have been in transit all weekend. And folks, just so that you know, for the next few videos, I'm probably going to be in a different place. There's apartment renovations going on in my building, and it's eclipse season and it's wild card energy when certain workers show up and don't. So welcome to me living in boxes waiting for electricians to show up and having very sparse walls so that they can knock holes in them. And I'm just rolling with it. I hope that however you're doing, whatever waves the Piscean energy of this lunar eclipse have been bringing with you, that you're able to roll with them and at least just float on the surface when you need to take a break. And we are talking about the 17th of September through the 22nd. So we are talking about starting this week off with a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. So I have been talking about this on several videos, but you know, it is really important to remember that this is an eclipse week and we're in eclipse season. I really like to think of eclipse season as portal energy. What that portal is working with is dependent upon our own natal chart, and yet this is a Pisces lunar eclipse that we start the week off with. So that means that we start the week off this Tuesday with the moon in Pisces at 25 degrees, the sun opposite in Virgo at 25 degrees, and that moon is conjunct Neptune. Okay, so, and then we have our nodes, which is what makes this an eclipse. And our north node is around 6 degrees in Aries, and our south node around 6 degrees in Libra. And it's also important to note that as we come into this eclipse on Monday, those nodes were squaring Mars, who is in Cancer. So the Monday definitely could have offered a bit of a push and pull between our own drive, between us and ourself, between us and life itself, between us and relationships, hopefully coming into a place where we could ground into self-care, because that Mars in Cancer wants and needs to learn about self-care and active rest. And so that said, it could have brought up a little bit of tension or push and pull, especially between like our own desire and what life is offering us, or other people and relationships are offering us. And then we come into our eclipse on Tuesday. And again, we really want to cultivate this week. You know, I'm going to talk about what happens after the eclipse, but we really want to cultivate space for the unexpected, space to flow, space to witness what is unfolding, and to come into our active self, but letting life lead. That has been in my post. It's been like, let's let life lead. I'm doing the same, working. I deliver the message, but I have to embody the message too. I recognize it's not easy, but really letting life lead. And this is such Piscean energy. And with, you know, that full moon, which is what the lunar eclipse is, there could be big emotions. There could be depths swirling up like waves and then going back into the oceanic surface of all that is. And because dreams are heightened this week, we want to roll with them as well. Lean into seeing if there's any messages. Again, those messages are not necessarily about a literal interpretation, but just seeing how the symbol opens you. A Pisces new moon is all about opening. It's all about coming into a way of belonging that we feel from the inside out and the outside in, except that outside had nothing to do with this kind of everyday society and all these rules that we've created humanity around. It has to do with a much higher order of spirituality. And so we're in this kind of flowing with that spiritual order this week. And potentially also, you know, this eclipse could absolutely bring up, whether it is through shifting our lives or shifting our inner perception of ourselves, it could be bringing up some of the work that's preparing us for 2025 and ultimately way beyond, because we are working with Neptune this week and during this eclipse portal, and that Neptune is in the process of a major shift. And in 2025, we're going to work with that Neptune and Saturn moving into Aries, which begins a whole new cycle. And so because we have this Pisces eclipse now, it could be bringing up some of the themes and or life shifts that are helping to create new structures for ultimately a whole new spiritual round of being human in our own lives and collectively. Okay, and now we're going to move with our sun, who's going to be in the eclipse, and then that sun is going to keep moving, and it's going to come into its exact opposition with Neptune. And then as that happens, it comes into a trine with Pluto and a trine with Uranus. Okay, those are that outer planet cosmic symphony that is still very strong. And that's again why there's other orders that are just manifesting, coming into awareness, potentiality that's opening for us that literally wasn't possible before. Okay, so this is not about saying, I just haven't worked hard enough, or I wasn't, the time is now. The outer planets are working with us now, and the sun is going to move from the 17th onward this week, up literally to the 22nd, because on the 22nd, happy Libra season, okay? And our sun moves into Libra, and that begins shifting this energy as well, coming into our solar eclipse, which is a Libra eclipse. But this week, that sun moves through Virgo and it talks with the outer planets. So the energy keeps building, okay? But that said, we might come into a little bit more understanding after the eclipse, after the 17th, as we move throughout the week. And that sun is going to be exactly opposite Neptune on the 20th, okay? And then 21st, 22nd, the 21st, it's going to move in and it's going to be in that exact trine with Pluto. Right before the 20th, it's in its exact trine with Uranus. So that sun is just moving into that symphony with the outer planets, and that's extremely significant. And that is a Virgo sun shining and hopefully coming into kind of making sense a little bit of this outer realm experience of awakening, of spiritualization, of great transformation. And remember, this is an eclipse season when Pluto is at the final degree of Capricorn. So it's heavy, it's big. There's potentially major shifts going on in our lives right now. Again, I think it's important. Sometimes they seem really small, but those seeds of change are what create the massive timeline shifts and direction shifts of our lives. And sometimes it's just an act that we do because we listen to our intuition and it says, nope, I'm going to do this. And it symbolizes something really strong. Maybe it's totally changing our hair or it's something related to ourselves in that way. Or maybe it is calling someone that I haven't spoken to and I feel that this is the moment to call, whatever it is. Or maybe it's something bigger, like launching a business or, whatever it is, whatever is happening in your sphere and field. These changes could be quite big, and they could be opening timelines and portals for bigger changes. So we're moving with that sun, and that Virgo sun wants to create the systems in this plane that can stream all this outer planet energy in. And again, this is big. This is Uranus awakening. This is Neptune spiritualizing. This is Pluto transforming, death and rebirth cycles going on during an eclipse. So we're just working with some big energy this week and knowing that that's happening. And with that Virgo sun, it may be important to move the body. Okay, whether that is slow, mindful practice that you have, whether that's like a yoga or qigong practice or just mindful meditation, or it might be more of a rigorous exercise movement, whatever works in your embodied reality. And again, it's really important that we listen to our embodied reality and we don't push ourselves too hard, and we know when to relax and when to move. But that Virgo sun may need to move the body in order to regulate just some of this energy, because it is a lot coming in. Okay. And also, we may need to sleep. We may need to go into that dream world and check out of this daily reality a bit in order to process and let our psyche process all that's going on, and just riding the waves, riding the waves. And I also wanted to talk about Mercury, because for the eclipse, so on the 17th, Mercury is opposite Saturn. Okay. And it's going to inch its way out of being opposite Saturn. And so that's important, because for the eclipse, we might not totally know what's going on. We might, we don't need to understand in the sense that we absolutely know how it's going to play out. We need to check in with what's present and witness what's present and respond with as honest a presence of awareness as we can. It's wonderful to bring present awareness during eclipse. It's not always easy, but we can try. But Saturn has messages for us, okay? And so also they might be directly related to our spiritual path. They might be directly to, okay, you have got to clean this up. You have got to be in an apartment and let it get proper electrical wiring and get things cleaned up so that you can do the work that you want to do here. You might need to actually get rid of something so that you can create space for what you're building in your life. And Mercury might be able to deliver us some of those messages. Then Mercury is going to move on and it's going to square Jupiter. Okay. And so then we might really get understanding coming through. We might get the messages coming through, just recognizing that that might come a little bit later in the week. Okay. Towards the 20th. And also we might have a lot of ideas. And again, always grounding the nervous system whenever, especially a Jupiter and Gemini is in play, talking to Mercury. That's a lot of mercurial energy. That's a lot of expression and ideas. So just go into the journal, going to the art practice, expressing, channeling the ideas into a tangible, externalized form that helps us. And that type of form is whatever calls to you. If it's literal language in your journal, do that. If it's getting creative and messy and collaging, do that. Whatever's calling for you. And then on the 22nd, our sun comes into Libra. Okay, and we will begin shifting gears and getting pulled into our next eclipse on October, which is on October 2nd. Okay, and I will have more videos talking about that. But just knowing, and most likely it's been coming up a bit, but Libra is all about our relational ways of being, in one-on-one relationships with ourselves and with others, and the way that being in relationship with others always impacts our relationship with ourselves as well. And so and of course that North Node is in Aries, and Aries is all about our own needs, our own desires, our own courageous fire that just feels where it needs to go and it goes. And Libra can hesitate around making those movements because it can be very concerned in a compassionate way for others and for relationships. And so this next eclipse portal is really seeking to clean up some of our relational ways of being so that we can have a more present embodiment of our Aries fire, and that Aries fire supports our relationships, and that we can come into even a greater capacity for love, both in our relational way of being with ourselves and then of course with others as well. And we will talk about Libra energy later when we get into that eclipse. You could be watching this on the day of the eclipse, and so if you are, ride those waves with beauty and grace. And we do that just by being present and allowing life to lead. Okay, I'm sending so much eclipse portal love, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.